Mr. Ahsan, esteemed, distinguished guests, excellencies, I have my enough white here to tell me through experience that at this time people are not really waiting to hear more speeches, rather they are looking to something else. So before dinner, making long speeches does not make you look good. So I would only compliment Ijaz Nisar for bringing such a galaxy together and organizing this dinner today. And would just suffice to say that Pakistan today needs true CEOs. CEO is a leader, and leader is one who embraces challenge, who embraces change, who challenges the comfort zone and creates a new level or space for his or her people so that they are better off. So the responsibility today on the shoulders of every leader in our society is that how can we now turn around Pakistan and put Pakistan on a steady, fast growth trajectory so that by 2047 we become a $3 trillion economy. We have three choices. If we continue to do what we are doing and we do business as usual, most likely we may grow at 5% average growth for next 24 years, and by 2047 we will be a $1.2 trillion economy. And with the population with which we have grown, I don't need to explain that that is going to be a recipe for disaster, and we might have such levels of unemployment and such levels of social and political conflicts that we would be in real trouble. The second trajectory is that if we grow at an annual growth rate of 7% for next 24 years, we could become a $2 trillion economy by 2047. That is, to me, a moderate path for us given our potential and opportunities. And the third path is more aspirational, which is more aligned with the potential of Pakistani nation, that we should on average grow at 9%. That way we could be a $3 trillion economy by 2047. Why am I saying this? I am saying this because you have all read maybe Harvard Business School case study, Pakistan at 75, when will the Nazuk mode end? I think it is about time for us to move beyond Nazuk mode and put Pakistan on a steady platform or a path of growth. Because in 2047, two countries in this region and subcontinent will celebrate their 100 years of independence. Most likely, most of my generation will not be there to see that milestone. But most of you who are young will be there to see that milestone in history. So the question to ask ourselves is, how are we going to face history in 2047? Our neighbor is going to certainly be very proud to say that we have become number 2 or number 3 economy in the world. And where will we stand? I think if we, as I said, put our act together, follow the trajectory of 9% annual growth for next 24 years, and aspire to be a $3 trillion economy, we could all be equally proud. But this will not happen unless we take a conscious path of high growth through peace, stability, and continuity of policies. I can say and speak on many things, But to me, the crux of our 75 years of history is that we have not failed in making plans and policies. I remember when we launched Vision 2010, it was appreciated by everyone. Everyone thought that Pakistan could be a upper middle income country by 2010 if it followed the path. But after 2 years, there was martial law, and that plan was thrown out of the window. In 2013, when we came back, I again took this assignment that I have unfinished job from 1999. So let us go back to the drawing board and make a new plan. And we did Vision 2025, in which we set the goal to make Pakistan one of the top 25 economies by 2025. And when we launched this plan at that time, we did not have power for 16 to 18 hours in the country. There was a suicide bomber blowing himself every day. Karachi, our main financial capital, was almost shut down. And on any given day, if we had single-digit killings in Karachi, people would take a sigh of relief that today was a peaceful day. So in those circumstances, when we presented this vision, people very sarcastically asked me that, where are you taking us? Don't sell us Sheikh Chilli dreams. And I used to tell them that, no, we are committed and we'll turn around the country. And within 3 to 4 years, Pakistan was turned around. And as Ved mentioned, CPAC became Pakistan's flagship project. And I was very proud to be associated with it. Within 3 years, we brought in $25 billion of foreign investment. And American ambassador, UK High Commissioner, British, German, French ambassadors, EU ambassador, all ambassadors would come to my office and have one question only. Excellency, tell us, how can our companies join CPAC projects? And there was this euphoria everywhere that Pakistan as if has found a holy grail, and now let's get tagged along and see where this CPAC will take this region and Pakistan. And what did we do? In 2018, we destroyed that journey with our own hands by interfering in the elections, by throwing out a regime, and again discontinuing the policies that were putting Pakistan on a stable growth trajectory. So the result was that there was U-turn on every policy. Everything that we did was made to look like evil, and the suffering was not of ours, but the country suffered. So I think we need to learn one lesson. As a nation, no nation has developed after Second World War wherein there has not been political continuity of at least a decade to allow the economic policies to give desired results. Start from Japan. One party has ruled Japan for almost 70% of its history after Second World War. There has been continuity of policies. Prime ministers have changed, but party has been the same. In China, since 49, same party, every president 10 years. In South Korea, President Park, almost 10 years, tenure put Korea on a new path. In Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, 31 years. In Mahathir case, Malaysia, 22 years. Similarly, in Indonesia, long, stable tenures, which put them on stable path. Come to India, 10 years of Manmohan Singh, 10 years of Modi. Come to Bangladesh, 15 years of Hasina Wajid. Come to Turkey, 20 years of Tayyip Erdogan. So what you see is that every successful country at least had a decade-long political continuity to allow the policy to give results. So if you play T20 cricket with development, it gives disaster, it does not give development. Development is a test match format of game where you need patience and you need to craft your innings in order to be able to score a century. So I think now the time has come. We don't have any more time to lose. In 22, when we came into government, Pakistan was at the brink of default. Everyone was saying that whether it will be 2 weeks or 3 weeks, when will country be Sri Lanka? We took up the challenge. We took tough decisions. Leadership is about taking tough decisions. Leadership is not always taking the popular decisions. Leadership is about taking proper decisions. They may be unpopular at times. So we took some tough decisions, put the country back on track, and those policies were continued through the caretaker government. And now we are seeing that as a result of that past 2 years of economic direction that the country has assumed, that today Karachi stock market has highest performing scorecard of 70,000 plus, which is, which has happened after a very long time. Similarly, there is positive sentiment about Pakistan in international investors. Friends of Pakistan have now started coming back to Pakistan. Saudi Arabia delegation visited, and we are likely to receive $5 billion worth of foreign direct investment in different projects. Similarly, we had a visit from President of Iran. Prime Minister has been invited to visit China. He may visit very soon. And so likewise, we are expecting senior visits from United States and other countries. So Pakistan is coming back into business. What I would like to say, that elections are over. Every party has accepted the results in one way or another, by taking oath in the assemblies, by taking part in the electoral process, electing president, prime ministers, chief ministers. Every party has formed their government where they had mandate. There is PTI government in KP, there is PMLN government in Punjab, there is PPP government in Sindh, coalition government in Balochistan, coalition government in the center. Now, for next 5 years, we all have to deliver within our respective mandates. Yeah. And we have to close and bring down the high polarization that exists in our society. You must have seen World Economic Forum's latest report, in which they identified what are the 10 major risks the world faces. The number one risk is misinformation, and number 3 risk is polarization in society. So how can we not be victim of misinformation in our society, and how can we bring down polarization so that we all learn to collaborate, we all learn to work together. My professor in business policy class used to say that sign of a mature industry is where players simultaneously can play the game of competition and collaboration. They compete for their market share, but they collaborate for their industry share. So I think the time of competition for our market share is over. Elections are behind. Now we have to all work for the industry share of the country. How can we expand Pakistan on the global scene with increasing our exports? Export has to be Pakistan's number one priority. And that is why we have a 5E framework, how to push exports, how to push e-Pakistan for the new digital age, how to embrace environment challenges, because we are victims of climate change, climate disasters. So we have to work on our food security and water security to be able to withstand the vulnerability. Number 4, how do we address the challenge of energy, which is a key problem for us, to make it affordable, to make it green, and to make it efficient. And 5th, how do we focus on having equity in the society? How do we focus on developing the right ethics for development, and how do we empower our youth and women? Because no society can develop unless more than 50% of its women are part of the workforce. We have just 23% women as part of our workforce. So we have to focus on empowering our youth, which is our asset, and our women, which is very underutilized asset of our society. So this is a 5E framework that we developed in last 16 months, and now we are pursuing, and we hope that if we follow up in next 5 years, Pakistan should be on a very steady growth path. But to make it happen, we all have to play our part. CEOs have to also contribute because private sector is now the engine of growth. Private sector has to find new markets for Pakistan's exports. If you look at Pakistan's corporate sector, it is all embedded in a local market with a comfort zone where it is posting billions of rupees on its balance sheet and has no concern about how much dollars the country earns. Look at the balance sheet of Anglo. Look at the balance sheet of Fauji Group or any other big group which is doing business. Billions in rupees, but negligible earnings in dollars. We did a study of Karachi stock market. Out of 513 companies, only 70 companies listed on Karachi Stock Exchange have $10,000 plus exports. So, our corporate sector is not exporting, where our main management capital is. So, Pakistan's future will depend how fast we go from $30 billion to $100 billion export target, whether in 7-8 years or 12-15 years. There is no option except to do it in 7 to 8 years. We have to exponentially grow. We have to pay $70 billion plus in next 3 years in loans. So either you borrow more to pay your loans or you earn more to pay your loans through your own hands. That way you become more self-reliant and more sovereign as a nation. So I think every company, every businessman, I always tell them in chambers when I go that every company must put out their best talent with a briefcase in one hand and samples in another hand and send them out to international markets. Explore opportunities. Duret Saab is here. Now his challenge is how much foreign exchange can he earn by exporting Pakistani dramas? If Turkish dramas are coming to Pakistan, why cannot our dramas go to Middle East? Why cannot our dramas go to China? Why cannot our dramas go to Turkey? Netflix. So the whole orientation of Pakistani nation should now turn to exports. Each and every overseas Pakistani must think, they know the markets there. How can we find some products from back home and sell it here? That is where Pakistan will be able to have a very strong economy. So with these words, there's a lot to say, but I think I won't bore you more. I really thank Jaz Nisar for this event. He has done an amazing job. I'm fortunate to be part of his journey. I joined his first conference, which he organized many years ago, and I've seen his journey grow. So full compliments to him and to his team, and I hope that they keep doing this good work. Pakistan, Zindabad.
Why don't you clap for that?